I will say Tip City does it so well when it comes to, holiday festivities because it's such a cute downtown and they just make it feel so cozy.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love seeing all the little towns lit up.
Yeah.
So
and Santa's
cute.
ornaments back at the Dayton Mall. Head out to customize a special holiday keepsake for yourself or your loved ones. Look how cute this is.
I love this idea.
I mean, the ornaments that always mean the most to me are the ones with some special significance to
A personal
them.
message.
I still have my baby's first Christmas, ornament for my
precious.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom gave me a huge box of a bunch of my ornaments from growing up. I haven't put them on the tree yet. Maybe I'll have to do that this year.
Does it not fit your aesthetic,
No.
Alex? You got it. It's
Yeah, I hate to admit I'm that person.
I'm
that person. Fine. And the food bank is hosting a mass food distribution tomorrow at the Old Salem Mall. You can come with plenty of room in your car for fresh produce, grains, and plenty more. It's that time of the year where, especially getting close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, need is up. So if you can donate, do so. And if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it.
Absolutely. Ohio voters have spoken. Issues 1 and 2 have passed in the Buckeye State, securing reproductive rights, including abortion and legalizing recreational marijuana.
So what happens next? Melena Brown breaks down the results and when we'll see changes here in Ohio. Melena?
Right here at the state website, it's voteohio.gov. It's showing all of the results. Right now we see that about 100%, actually, this just came in, of all the precincts are reporting both issue 1 and issue 2 have passed.
Last night, you may have noticed a delay in results from Montgomery County.
Gwyneth Falloon explains why.
There was an incident at the Miamisburg Christian Church. Someone was struggling with their mental health and law enforcement had to be called to step in. This was around 7:30 last night, right when those polls were closing. Now, Montgomery County Board of Elections Director Jeff Rezebeck tells me he made the executive decision to pause the process to make sure everyone, both the individual and his poll workers, were safe.
It's been handled, everyone's safe. The election data is safe, there's no concerns there. So we did have a little bit of a delay because of that, just making sure that we handled that situation first.
This issue did cause the BOE to fall a little behind, but they worked quickly to process and sort those ballots and get up-to-date results online as soon as possible. Keep in mind, though, those results you're seeing online are unofficial. Back to you.
We have all of those election results for you on our website at Dayton247now.com. You can find this page under the election results tab. Coming up, we're taking a look at which school levies passed, which ones failed, and how those results are affecting our local schools for the next school year.
Good morning. Here's what to expect for today. We do have the risk of a couple of showers, especially early on this morning. But if you're putting kids on the bus, by probably the late morning commute, we're really not expecting a whole lot of wet weather. Here's what the radar looks like right for now. Again, it's not particularly that filled with showers, but there are a couple now moving through the greater Eaton, Greenville area, as well as out to the west. That does look like it is about it. So again, if you're traveling this morning, maybe just prepare to use the windshield wipers. I'm not even sure you'll need an umbrella with a lot of these. Just a reminder, we are on social media, so go there, hang out with us on your day, Dayton. I'll have your weather forecast posted there in a couple of minutes. Now, if you are traveling, it does look like there may be something going on 70 and 75, but it's not affecting traffic, and that's probably the main message. 675 at Wilmington Pike, I-75 at 3rd, all looking good. Just a reminder, we do have that road construction up and down 75.
The Beaver Creek Walmart's expected to reopen this morning after a fire Monday night. Now police say they identified 2 suspects and both are minors. The store immediately evacuated Monday when the fire broke out in the craft section. No one was hurt. No injuries have been filed just yet. An investigation is ongoing. Walmart also released a statement from the store saying, quote, "We are thankful for the swift action of first responders Monday night. If our associates worked to get the store ready to reopen for the community Wednesday morning," end quote.
The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help. They posted these pictures on Facebook asking for help identifying 3 people accused of theft. Here's a closer look. This man is accused of stealing a woman's wallet, and these 2 women were caught on surveillance video using the card to make a large purchase at Sam's Club. If you have any information, you're asked to call Detective Egloff at the number on your screen. That's 937-432-2757.
Firefighters say a person burning a small pile of leaves in Greene County caused a large brush fire. It started at a home on Spring Valley Alpha Road. The blaze burned nearly 5 acres of a nearby field. It took multiple departments to get the flames under control. The food bank now planning a mass food distribution in Trotwood at the Old Salem Mall from 10 to noon tomorrow morning. If you plan to attend, you're asked not to arrive before 9 a.m. and make sure you have plenty of space in your trunk or back seat so volunteers can load up your vehicle with fresh produce, grains, and other products. In honor of active duty military members and veterans, the Greater Dayton RTA will offer free rides on Veterans Day. That's all day system-wide on Saturday. This continues the RTA's 50th anniversary celebration. They're giving free rides on all federal holidays and on Sundays through the remainder of the year. Our time right now is 5:11. Don't forget you can get your election results at the bottom of your screen. Still to come this morning.
Tapping into retirement funds. I'm Dee Dee Gatton in Washington. I break down a new report showing a growing number of people with a 401k are initiating withdrawals, why, and your options before you do.
October coming in at the hottest October on record worldwide. Just ahead, what scientists are predicting for this year.
You're watching your Well, here in the Miami Valley, we may not be able to relate to this next story, but this past October was the warmest October globally on record. We did have some hot days. Scientists say the average temperature last month was 3.1 degrees higher than when compared to a period in the late 1800s. October is now the 5th straight month that global temperatures have hit record highs. The Copernicus Climate Change Service says 2023 is on track to be the warmest year ever. And I think, since we had snowflakes on Trick or Treat, a lot of people forgot it was like 80 degrees at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
We had a ridiculously hot start to October. Then it kind of really cooled off. Like you said, snowflakes. And then it's been a relatively warm start to November. In fact, today, I was just looking at it. We're going to be within 5 degrees of a record high temperature. I mean, we're talking about, again, a very much so warm day for today, but today kind of breaks the pattern.
We're on the roller coaster that is Ohio weather.
Yeah, love our bipolar weather.
Yeah, and here's the thing, even at our coolest this week, we're going to be within a few degrees of average, so it's not like it's going to be ridiculous. Let's go over to the weather wall and I'll kind of explain what's going to happen. So for today, we are dealing with a warm front, and that warm front is causing a couple of showers to kickstart here, mainly across the western part. What I do expect is these to weaken as they continue to move east. So Dayton, Troy, Sydney area, you could still see a shower, but it may be just some very light rain. Here's what it looks like right for now. Nothing that crazy outside in Dayton, but today a very warm day. Highs will be in the mid 70s. Again, we're talking about temperatures some 20 degrees above average. And it's worth pointing out that even the overnight lows have been about 10 degrees above average. Tonight, what we'll have is stalling, if not falling temperatures. You see this 59. I think that's about the temperature we wake up to tomorrow. We'll dip down probably mid to late morning and then sort of bounce back up. Really what it seems to me is more what I call stalling and falling temperatures, which is it just kind of stagnates during the daytime tomorrow. We're pointing out that tomorrow will be a touch breezy and it clears out late. That clearing becomes important because we'll see the overnight lows drop in the low 40s. Again, that's within a few degrees of average, and tomorrow's highs within a few degrees of average. You put it together, it really does seem like Thursday, Friday seem to be about average. Then for Saturday and Sunday, at worst, we're talking 5 degrees below average during the day, 5 to 6 degrees average or below average during the nighttime. That's nothing compared to 20 degrees below average. If we were to see a similar day, you would have highs in the mid 30s today. Again, that's if it was colder than average by the same amount as it's warmer than average today. This is just a very warm atmosphere, and even at its coolest this week, again, we're talking about a few degrees below average, nothing that crazy. One thing that is apparent is we are going to go under a dry pattern through the middle of next week. On the roads this morning, it has been a fairly quiet morning commute, 70, 75, 6, 75, 35 for all moving as expected. Due to that construction as you head north into Miami County out of Montgomery.
A growing number of Americans with a 401k are dipping into funds, according to a report from Bank of America.
Dee Gatton explains steps you can take before dipping into 401k investments.
While Bank of America found average 401k balances increased, their analysis also shows a growing number of 401k participants are initiating withdrawals from their plans, claiming hardship.
Kiara H. has been saving since she was 17 years old and says the retirement money has helped her when she's needed fast cash.
I've had to dip into my 401k actually a few times to assist with paying my rent, to assist with any hardship that comes up.
Average 401k balances increased by nearly 10% since the end of 2022, as the number of participants taking hardship distributions increased 36% year over year after increases in the first quarter this year, according to a Bank of America report released in August. If you look at the broad economic picture, with high GDP numbers and low unemployment, the strain many families are feeling may come as a surprise.
The best thing is to really have a buffer between you and those type of financial actions that have long-term ramifications. Build up that emergency savings. Do so consistently by saving some of every paycheck.
Bankrate Chief Financial Analyst Greg McBride says lack of emergency savings and for many, tapped out credit lines could make the retirement account, which he says should be the last resort, the first choice. Generally, if you're under age 59 and a half and you make a withdrawal from your retirement account, that money is going to be taxable. Plus, you'll pay a 10% early withdrawal penalty.
Sometimes, you just have to bite the bullet and, just take what you can get at the moment.
Even with rising 401k plan withdrawals, the report also found Gen Z and millennial employees are ramping up their contributions.
Our time right now is 5:21. More and more people are now saying they prefer a 4-day work week. Same. Just ahead, what this would look like for you.
I wish.
It is time for Pet of the Day here on your day, and every once in a while, one slips through the archives, and I saw this one, and I said, why haven't I used this photo yet? Lizzo is the chicken you see here. It's a brown chicken, I think it's called. Casey sent in her pet and said, chicken has a really interesting personality. So yeah, there you go. As for today, temperatures will go from the 50s into the 60s and 70s. Worth pointing out that if you remember yesterday, we were significantly cool or warmer during the morning hours, and then we cooled off, or should I say we just never warmed up as much during the daytime. So today a much more wider spread in terms of diurnal temperatures. Again, cooler in the morning, but very much so mild. So if you go out with your pet You may need a jacket, especially if you don't like the cool weather. But later on today, boy, mid-70s, probably get away with shorts and a T-shirt. And I say this, and I've said it probably twice now, it's going to be the last chance for us to really do that. So you might as well get outside and soak up the warm temperatures. Meanwhile, if you're on the roads this morning, haven't seen the rain quite yet, but there are a couple of scattered showers out and about. Keep that in mind that later on you may encounter one or two. Other than that, really no issues as you head out the door.
Over the years, nearly a quarter of seniors have selected a healthcare plan that they weren't happy with. Results also found many have chosen a plan simply because it was the cheapest option. But today, the One Poll and Clear Match Medicare survey found seniors tend to prioritize plans that cover what they need, regardless of the cost, rather than focusing only on the price tag. Well, new nutrition guidelines could change the way Americans view nutrition by focusing on how their food is made and what happens to it before they bring it home. For the first time, the Guidelines Committee is examining the science on obesity and ultra-processed foods, industrial manufactured foods that have unusual combinations of flavors, additives, and ingredients, which are many not found in nature. Now, these include things like chicken nuggets, sweetened breakfast cereals, boxed mac and cheese, potato chips, and fast food. Well, 64% of college students rely on family for financial advice, according to a survey from Morning Brew and Generation Lab. They beat out banks, friends, and celebrities as the most frequent source of financial advice. Another survey found over 6 in 10 Gen Zers say they are still financially dependent on their parents. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
Memorabilia from the Titanic will be auctioned off on Saturday. The items include this first-class dinner menu from the first night on board the doomed ocean liner. That menu is water-stained and some of the lettering is partially erased, but it's still expected to fetch up to $86,000. Other items on the auction include a tartan blanket and pocket watch. The watch is frozen in time from when he entered the frigid water and later died.
A new survey saying 3 out of 4 Americans would prefer a 4-day work week. In the survey of 3,200 working adults, 77% believe the 4-day work week would be ideal. The option would still amount to a 40-hour week. That would be 4 consecutive 10-hour days. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
But then again, like 10-hour days, those are long.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only a few more hours than we already are here for, so.
That's true.
Well, here's the thing is that you would have to find a reason to do the 2 extra hours. And we know working in this industry, oh boy, could they find anything and everything to give you 4 hours of work for 2 extra hours of, pay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
We're so happy.
No, but honestly, I did have someone who wanted a 4-hour, 10-day work, and it was like, well, what are you going to do for the extra 2 hours? And when he couldn't come up with an idea, boss said, no, just work your regular shift or, have to eat a day off. So.
But it still equals to the same amount of hours.
I know. I'll be honest with you. I'm more of a 5-day work because I don't like to be at work that long. My brain starts scrambling after hour 3.
Yeah, I'm already there. Our time right now is 5:28. Still to come.
Both issue 1 and 2 have passed. We're going to break down the election results coming up next.
And Ivanka is set to testify in court. More on that just ahead.
You're watching your
Good morning, I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 quick stories to get your day started. An unusual discovery up north. Police in Wisconsin found this tiny alligator in Lake Michigan. It's still not clear how the animal ended up in South Milwaukee, but officials say the state gets 1 reported sighting per year. That's terrifying.
And I always tell my kids when we go up to Lake Michigan, like, there's nothing in there that can get you.
Oh, don't worry.
And he goes, there might be sharks or alligators. I'm like, nah.
Don't show them that.
Don't be looking at this story, Hudson. Sorry. And we have an update on the Mexican aliens. Mexico's Congress held a second hearing on extraterrestrials. This time a doctor showed lawmakers pictures and an x-ray of what they call non-human being. The doctor claims the new species didn't have lungs or ribs.
Wow.
This is wild.
That's so crazy.
This is wild,
We're starting to see more and more.
U.S. Congress needs to be more like Mexican Congress. This is lit. I mean, come on. Put the aliens on display. Come on. Let's do it. This is wild.
Gosh. I feel like every alien we've seen, though, they've all looked so different.
Yeah, they're so cute.
So there must be different ones from different planets.
They come in peace.
Or they just all look different.
Exactly. There we go.
You can now stay at the Lizzie Borden house. This home is now the site of a bed and breakfast. In 1892, Lizzie Borden killed her father and mother in the house with an axe. Did not expect that to go where it went.
Yeah, Lizzie Borden, probably the most famous axe murderer in American history. Yeah, so definitely hard pass on this. Don't feel like getting haunted.
Yeah.
Have we not seen The Shining?
No, thank you.
Like, I'm good. I am good.
That's terrifying. Ohio voters have spoken. Issues 1 and 2 have passed in the Buckeye State, securing reproductive rights, including abortion and legalizing recreational marijuana.
So what happens next? Melina Brown breaks down the results and when we'll see changes here in Ohio.
Issue 2 and recreational marijuana is seeing its first victory in the Buckeye State after years of failed attempts across Ohio. It passed here in the state with nearly 57% of the vote, and in Montgomery County, it passed with 60% of the vote. Along with Issue 1, Issue 2 will take effect in just a month. However, officials in the medical field say the full process of getting recreational marijuana on dispensary shelves could take up to a year. The law is going to allow adults 21 and older to buy, use, and even grow marijuana. We're still waiting on a statement from Governor DeWine and other Ohioans who oppose the issue. Before the election, Governor DeWine opposed, saying it would cause more harm than the tax revenue wouldn't be worth it. Cresco Labs, a lead grower in the medical cannabis field, said in a press release they commend Ohioans for legalizing adult use cannabis and look forward to helping launch the recreational program. Now, if you want to learn more about the specifics of Issue 1 and 2, you can head to our website, Dayton247now.com, for full election results.
Many local area schools had levies in this year's election, and now we know which ones did not pass.
Lydia Bice has been covering these levies for us and spoke with several local school district officials about these levies could do for their schools.
That's right. On Tuesday night, I was at the Centerville School District's Board of Education as school district staff and officials held a watch party as they awaited results on issue 13. Now, those results were a little delayed here on Tuesday night, but officials held on and they said that no matter what, the children in this school district would remain their top priority. Now, if passed, that combined 5.4 mil operating and 0.5 mil permanent improvement levy would have helped Centerville schools make improvements to their school district buildings as well as recruit new teachers. Now, it was projected that 57% of residents voted against and 43% voted in favor, with 100% of precincts reporting. Now, we did receive a reaction statement from the district, and we have that in the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. But here's what their superintendent told me on Tuesday night.
We'll have to work hard with our Board of Education, looking at what we need to do in the future as to find a way to have enough funds for our programming, for our students, and how we move forward from a loss of a levy like this.
We also followed the Northmont City School District's $5.5 mil emergency operating levy. Now, the state of Ohio is who labeled it an emergency, and the funding that the district was asking for would have been used to just operate the district and would translate to about $16 a month per $100,000 home valuation. Now, 54% of residents in the Northmont City School District voted against, and 46% voted in favor. Lastly, we covered the Oakwood City School District's combined $5.75 mil operating and $1.0 permanent improvement levy. Oakwood superintendent told me that the operating levy would have been used for personnel costs, utilities, and instructional supplies, while funding from that permanent improvement levy would have been used for vehicles, larger repairs, and technology. Now, in Oakwood, 60% of voters voted in favor, with around 40% voting against. Now, of course, you can find all of your election results from Tuesday under the election results tab on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
The Centerville, Washington Township community did not pass a $5.9 mil levy. The last time voters approved funding for Centerville schools was 2019. Superintendent John Wesney says school expenses are outpacing revenue. Next steps will include a recommendation on when to return to the ballot and a discussion about potential cuts in the meantime.
Now we're following several other levies in the Miami Valley. An additional $4 mil levy for Vandalia Butler City Schools did not pass. 57% of people voted against it.
And 3 seats on the Tip City School Board are up for grabs. You may remember former school board president Simon Patry resigned in September after board member Ann Zakor appeared to give him a Nazi salute. Now, Patry, Zakor, and board member Teresa Dunaway will now be replaced by Angie McMurray, Cindy Wilson, Dillard, and Kyle Thompson.
A levy for Springfield Township Police also failing to secure enough votes. 59% of people voted against it. Meanwhile, Huber Heights voting overwhelmingly in favor to renew a 0.25 mil income tax levy. This allows the city to maintain emergency and city services. It's been in place since 2015 in the city.
Ohio wasn't the only state holding elections yesterday. Across the border, Kentucky, Democratic Governor Andy Beshear won a second term. He beat the Trump-endorsed Attorney General Daniel Cameron in the deep red state.
Democrats are keeping control of the Virginia legislature. All seats in the state's General Assembly were up for grabs. Democrats won key races, flipping the state house. Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin will now have a totally Democrat-controlled legislature for the rest of his time in office.
For more election results, stay tuned. We're breaking down mayoral races, city commission, and more all morning long, as well as issues 1 and 2. You can find election results on our website, Dayton247now.com.
Good morning. We are off to a cooler start to your day, but it's going to get warmer during the daytime. Kind of an interesting setup we've had. Temperatures low 40s to the north, mid to upper 40s to the south. Yesterday we hit 66 in Dayton, so was right about at our forecast. This morning we are continuing to watch as a couple of showers are moving through the area. We'll continue tracking these, but at this point it doesn't look likely for a lot of rain. It's just simply that broken line. Meanwhile, for the rest of the morning, we should get at least some pockets of sunshine after about 9 a.m. Note the fact that even by 11 we'll be above average. The average this time of year, for whatever it's worth, is in the mid 50s. So this is a very much so above average day. Just a reminder, your day is also on social media, so go there, check us out. Of course, we have the latest weather forecast there, plus the fun stuff from the show during the morning hours. Speaking of course, we also track traffic here. And so far, it's been a quiet morning commute. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns at this hour.
Taking a live look over New York City, there were some tense moments in the courtroom as former President Donald Trump took the stand in his civil fraud trial Monday.
His daughter Ivanka is preparing to take the stand today. Didi Gatton joins us with what we can expect.
Ivanka Trump is not a defendant in former President Donald Trump's civil fraud trial. A New York appeals court dismissed her from the case in June. She filed an appeal to avoid having to testify in the case. Despite appearing to avoid the public eye, Wednesday that all changes when she testifies in her father's case. A move some experts say could have the opposite effect prosecution is intending.
It seems to me that as far as persuasion is concerned, that the prosecution and the judge really are overplaying their hand and maybe working to the advantage, if not in the immediate verdict, certainly in appeal and certainly in election rhetoric for 2024. She's a sympathetic source, and they have somewhat of an unsympathetic source in Donald Trump.
Professor Emeritus at Towson University, Dr. Richard Vatz, says he expects Ivanka may say it's inappropriate to have her testify due to a lack of knowledge of charges against her father in the last number of years. At times say she doesn't recall something or plead the fifth.
A man is now recovering in the hospital after crashing a semi into a West Carrollton water tower. Both the truck and the tower have major damage. Medics took the truck driver to Kettering Hospital. East Central Avenue and South Elm Street shut down for hours while the city took stock of the damage. Cleanup is underway now. The roads are back open now, but the city still says to avoid the area.
We now know the names of the man killed on I-75 Monday. Multiple cars hit 38-year-old Lucas Justice near Needmore Road. The highway shut down for several hours.
The Dayton Holiday Festival tree is heading to its new home in Courthouse Square today. So exciting. Crews are planning on removing the tree from its current location in Huber Heights at 9 this morning. They'll then take it to downtown Dayton. Once there, people will be decorating it with colorful lights and accents. The tree will be officially lit during the Dayton Holiday Festival Grand Illumination on November 24th.
Our time right now is 5:42. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling and your election results at the bottom of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
You're watching your
Good morning. We've been tracking a couple of showers across the area. These continue to march more and more into the Miami Valley, but they have started to weaken. Right now, the heaviest, if you're going to call it heaviest rain, is probably centered over Darke County and now moving in towards the greater Troy areas, so Miami County area, perhaps up towards Shelby County as well. Meantime, in Dayton itself, it's still obviously dark outside, but there's no heavy-duty weather as of right now. We are expecting things to turn quite warm for today. In fact, we're going to be aiming for the mid-70s. So you want to talk about a warm day. We're going to run about 20 degrees above average and about 5 to 6 degrees shy of our record. So again, very much so on the warm side of everything. We're pointing out we'll have those clouds early, but these should clear out during the second half of the day.
Our time right now is 5:46. What does a barista do in the morning? Rise and grind. It's National Cappuccino Day. Just ahead, how you can brew up a cup and celebrate the day.
You're watching Your Day.
Words cannot express what this drink means to me, which is why we're celebrating it. Today is National Cappuccino Day. The traditional Italian beverage consists of espresso, heated milk, and steamed milk foam. But today, the cappuccino can be spiced up with all sorts of additions. This time of year, one of the most popular add-ons is pumpkin spice, but the drink can be customized in countless different ways.
My favorite cappuccino is the ones at gas stations that you melt your brain with as much sugar as you can have. I'm just kidding. Those are terrible. But, you know, I used to drink them.
I do love me a cappuccino every so often.
Yeah, so if I recall, cappuccino is 2/3 cup of foam, where a latte is 1/3 cup compared to steamed milk. So that's the big difference. Plus the serving vessel is like this. So dropping some knowledge. I'm a coffee person, can't you tell? Or a fancy coffee person.
I need coffee to survive, can't you tell?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny because here at work I just drink the whatever thing we have, the bagged coffee, but
the prison coffee.
Yeah, but then I go to home and I'm like, oh, I need a fancy roast.
I was gonna say the coffee here. Ugh. It's awful.
It's suboptimal.
That's why I bring my own coffee.
And me too. Me too.
I don't. I'm lazy. Let's go over to the weather wall and see what's going on. Actually, no, this is the one case where I'm just like, just give me something with caffeine in it, and that'll take me through. Here's the view right now in Dayton. Still waiting on any type of showers. Not quite sure if we're actually going to get any, to be honest with you. It just seems like Dayton itself may be more on the northern side of it. It's not an exactly impressive looking cluster of storms either. This is just a couple of light scattered showers. Let's take the wide view, and you can see the stretch of showers up in Wisconsin, northern parts of that state, as well as perhaps maybe even northern parts of Michigan could see a couple of snow flurries, snow showers. Meanwhile, for us, it's temperatures in the mid 70s. It's very much so warmer than average. We will see a lot of sun up until probably after dark. Then the clouds start to move in. So do showers. Notice how they wrap up by tomorrow morning. So effectively, tomorrow it's really going to be the overnight period where we could get some wet weather. Then from there, Thursday should turn sunny, perhaps a brief window early afternoon where we get upper 50s, but it's probably going to be about it. And frankly, we may wake up to upper 50s as well. So it's stalling, if not falling temperatures. Meanwhile, for Friday, it's going to be low 50s. And I do think Friday begins a string where temperatures will be in the low 50s up until probably around midweek next week. But that's also the next drier phase of weather. On the roads this morning, we're still right now fairly quiet. Do notice traffic on the north side of town starting to build up a little bit. We'll take a quick look at that, just see if we could spot anything. Let's head over towards Needmore, and yeah, left lane block ahead, so you can see an incident there. We'll continue to keep our eyes on that, but again, right now, I-75 south near Needmore is backed up. According to that sign there, it is the left lane that is blocked, so again, some will continue to track.
Our time right now, 5:52. The National Park Service offering free entry to any national park this Saturday. Just ahead, where you can take a trip to celebrate.
You're watching Your Day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where so far it is frankly a quieter morning, but it is a cool morning. Stepping outside, there is a vast difference from yesterday, where obviously yesterday I was in a suit and tie, and today I am in a coat. And if you're Wapakoneta, Sydney, Greenville area, it is pretty chilly outside. Low 40s, not unheard of for this time of year. In fact, very close to average. But the difference is, of course, this time of year, it's coach season for the most part. Dayton itself is at 46, so again, it is certainly warmer the further south you go. We have seen that warmer air start to spread north, so it would not be shocking in the least bit if we start to see these temperatures bump up across the board. But I do think second half of today, especially when we do get some pockets of sun, it's going to be a very much so mild day with highs in the mid 70s. So perhaps the last day where you can open up the windows, certainly the last day for shorts and t-shirt this week.
We'll head over to your closest national park this Saturday. The National Park Service waiving all entrance fees for Veterans Day. Now, this is the last chance for free admission this year. You'll have to pay for services like camping, boat launches, or special tours. There are more than 400 national park sites across the country. 8 of those are right here in the Buckeye State, including national monuments and historical parks. But there's only one national park, and that's Cuyahoga Valley. Here's a look at the National Park Service website. Cuyahoga Valley offers hiking, biking, horseback riding, and more. You can even take a scenic train ride through the park. Doesn't that sound serene? Now you will have to travel a little far. It's all the way up near Cleveland. But with all the park has to offer, the trip is sure to be worth your while. And here in the Miami Valley, in terms of national park spots, it's mostly just the Wright brothers monuments and stuff like that. All of that is free. If I have to say, my favorite national park would have to be Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park up in northern Michigan.
Ooh,
beautiful.
I like it.
Beautiful. Do you guys have a favorite?
I haven't been to any.
You haven't been to any?
I don't think so.
Really? No.
No, that's not true. I went to one in Denver.
Rocky Mountain National Park. No?
No,
You have a
it was
terrible
the red
memory.
one. It was where the cathedral is.
Red Rocks?
Yes.
Red Rocks.
Yes.
Okay, Nick?
I drove through Yellowstone. I really want to do Yellowstone again. Absolutely beautiful there. Favorite that I've actually slept the night is Teddy Roosevelt National Park. That is amazing. If you ever get the chance, middle of nowhere, just beautiful landscape.
Well, Teddy is the reason we have our national park. So shout out to Teddy Roosevelt. We got a lot more coming up on your day at 6 a.m.
Issue 1 and 2 have passed. We're going to break down the election results coming up next.
The Beaver Creek Walmart is expected to reopen today after the fire Monday night. Just ahead, the statement from the store.
You're watching Your Day. Good morning and welcome. I'm Nathan Edwards.
And I'm Alex King. Here are 3 stories to get your day started. A weekend full of festive cheer coming up in Tip City with a community tree lighting event on November 10th. There's going to be Yuletide Winter Gathering all weekend long, and you can get a head start on your holiday shopping at the Tip City Arts Council's A Holiday Affair.
I think the highlight for me is pancake dinner with Buddy the Elf.
I know. There's a story time and sing-along.
Do you think he eats his spaghetti with all the syrup and candy
Pop-Tarts and M&Ms and
Do we need to make that?
I would try it. I would seriously try it. You know my sweet tooth. You know I would do it.
That sounds gross, though, not gonna lie. Santa's ornaments back at the Dayton Mall. Check out the special customized holiday keepsakes for yourself or your loved ones. You can head out there, make some. I think I have someone on my tree that looks eerily similar to this. I think so. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's fun. I think that's just such a cool idea. I think like creating your own ornaments is always so fun and can be such a fun tradition for the family.
One of my favorite things is my oldest son's school actually has been sending home ornaments. Like I have one from preschool with this little face on it, and it's just the cutest thing ever.
I remember making ornaments when I was super young, bringing them home and being all excited. They were like super cheap.
I think I even have like a little tree that I made when I was like in 1st grade.
Did you really?
Yeah. My mom keeps everything.
That's so
let me tell you.
My parents do not. And the food bank is hosting a mass food distribution tomorrow at the Old Salem Mall. Come with plenty of room in your car for fresh produce, grains, and more.
Yeah, and this is especially a big time of need, the Thanksgiving season. So if you have the means to help out, now is the time to do it.
Time of giving.
So that's right. We give thanks and we give.
Yeah.
How about that?
Ohio voters have spoken. Issues 1 and 2 have passed in the Buckeye State, securing reproductive rights, including abortion and legalizing recreational marijuana.
So what happens next? Melina Brown breaks down the results and when we're going to see changes here in Ohio.
So let's talk about issue 1, which deals with abortion access. Here are the statewide numbers. If you take a look, all of the votes are in 100%. 56% of the votes were in favor. Here in Montgomery County, though, it was just slightly higher with about 59%. Now, Ohio voters sent a message, and now the law is slated to change next month. The constitutional amendment will take effect in 30 days. Issue 1 specifically declared an individual's right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions, including birth control, fertility treatments, miscarriage, and abortion. Pro-choice activists say it's a historic win.
This has been such a long time coming. This campaign came together last year because we lost access, because there was a dangerous abortion ban in Ohio. Patients and families were being harmed and lives were put at risk. There was no choice. We had to win. We had to end the ban. Winning was our only option, and we did it together.
This morning, we still have not heard from Governor DeWine, who strongly opposed issue 1. Dayton Right to Life says they believe this will be a tragic mistake for Ohio. Coming up in 30 minutes, we will break down issue 2 and how legalizing marijuana will play out here in the Buckeye State.
And 2 Dayton City Commissioners will hold on to their seats for another 2 years. Matt Joseph and Chris Shaw ran for re-election against Marcus Bettinger and Valerie Duncan. Joseph is currently serving his 5th term as commissioner after first being elected in 2004. Shaw started his role back in 2015. Here's a look at the results. Joseph earned 33% of the vote and Shaw drew 31%, keeping the pair in office.
We now know results for 3 mayoral races in the Miami Valley. The city of Trotwood electing Yvette Page for their next mayor. She beat the incumbent, Mary McDonald. Inglewood electing a new mayor.
Inglewood electing a new mayor as well. Kathy McGrail winning yesterday's election, beating the incumbent mayor, Tom France. Over in Miamisburg, Mayor Michelle Collins winning her re-election with over 65% of the vote. In New Lebanon, Mayor Ray Arola lost his bid for re-election. David Nickerson will take over, winning 56% of the vote. Arola served as the village's mayor for 13 years, and Phillipsburg Mayor Rebecca Ford lost her bid for re-election as well. Shauna Newsome will take over the office.
We now want to give you a live look over Dayton right now.
We're
having some technical difficulties there. If you watched election results last night, you may have noticed a delay in results for Montgomery County.
Gwyneth Loon explains why.
There was an incident at the Miamisburg Christian Church. Someone was struggling with their mental health and law enforcement had to be called to step in. This was around 7:30 last night, right when those polls were closing. Now, Montgomery County Board of Elections Director Jeff Rezebeck tells me he made the executive decision to pause the process to make sure everyone, both the individual and his poll workers, were safe.
It's been handled. Everyone's safe. The election data is safe. There's no concerns there. So we did have a little bit of a delay because of that, just making sure that we handled that situation first.
This issue did cause the BOE to fall a little behind, but they worked quickly to process and sort those ballots and get up-to-date results online as soon as possible. Keep in mind, though, those results you're seeing online are unofficial. Back to you.
And we have all those election results for you on our website at Dayton247now.com. You can find this page under the election results tab. Coming up, we're taking a look at which school levies passed, which ones failed, and how those results are affecting our local schools for the next school year.
Good morning. We got some showers up in Troy right now. Actually, maybe even a downburst or two style of a heavier shower as you move in between Troy and Pickya. So if you're traveling 75, expect to see that. Expect also some cool temperatures. We are in the 40s compared to yesterday. Of course, we started out so warm yesterday. We just never quite warmed up per se, not like we're going to do today, where we're going to see about a nearly 30, maybe even closer to 25 degree temperature shift. Now, that being said, of course, we are talking about a mild start to your morning, a cloudy start that should get some pockets of sunshine. And note that 11 a.m. temperature, 58, within a degree or two of our average high temperature in the morning. Just a reminder, we are on social media, so go there and check us out. Your Day Dayton on Facebook, Instagram, and the X. On the roads this morning, one issue right now, two-vehicle crash over at Needmore. Did get a report that it was two vehicles and no injuries. Obviously, you do see, I believe those are ambulances heading to the scene. So we'll continue to track that. But at this point, the left lane is blocked. The two right lanes seem to be moving, but very slow by Needmore. Of course, that's starting to back things up towards I-70. So we'll be watching this closely.
The Beaver Creek Walmart is expected to reopen this morning after a fire Monday night. Now police say they identified two suspects and both are minors. The store immediately evacuated Monday when the fire broke out. In the craft section, no one was hurt, no charge have been filed, and the investigation is ongoing. Now, Walmart also releasing this statement on the store saying, quote, "We're thankful for the swift action of first responders Monday night if our associates worked to get the store ready to reopen for the community Wednesday morning."
The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help. They posted these pictures on Facebook asking for help identifying 3 people accused of theft. Here's a closer look. This man is accused of stealing a woman's wallet, and these 2 women were caught on surveillance video using the card to make a large purchase at Sam's Club. If you have any information, you're asked to call Detective Egloff at the number on your screen. That's 937-432-2757.
Firefighters say a person burning a small pile of leaves in Greene County caused a large brush fire. It started at a home on Spring Valley Alpha Road. The blaze burned nearly 5 acres of a nearby field. It took multiple departments to get the flames under control.
The food bank now planning a mass food distribution in Trotwood at the Old Salem Mall from 10 to noon tomorrow morning. If you plan to attend, you're asked not to arrive before 9 a.m. and make sure you have plenty of space in your trunk or back seat so volunteers can load up your vehicle with fresh produce, grains, and other products.
In honor of active duty military members and veterans, a Greater Dayton RTA will offer free rides on Veterans Day. That's all day system-wide on Saturday. This continues the RTA's 50th anniversary celebration. They're giving free rides on all federal holidays and on Sundays to the remainder of the year.
Our time right now is 6:09. Don't forget you can get your election results at the bottom of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. Here's what we're looking at. Scattered showers still continue, but this is just a thin strip. I do expect today to be a mild day. How we get there is cloudy skies and, well, relatively cool weather through, let's say, mid to late morning. By the time we get into the afternoon, and I do say early afternoon, it'll be in the 70s. I mean, this is going to be an impressively warm atmosphere for this time of year, and frankly, a really comfortable one for just about anybody. No, it's not summer, but it could be a whole lot worse. Meantime, overnight tonight, clouds move in. So do showers. Notice how they just linger through overnight. By tomorrow morning, by and large, they have exited out. The clouds won't be that far behind. Probably by about the same time period, mid to late afternoon, those clouds will dissipate and we'll be left with sunshine. Temperatures tomorrow morning will likely be upper 50s, maybe falling to mid 50s and then rising back up into the upper 50s. So the main message is it is going to be a period of stagnant temperatures. Then we drop into the upper 40s, maybe mid 40s, low 40s, somewhere in that ballpark for Friday morning. Friday itself, highs should be in the low 50s. So frankly, again, we are talking about cooler weather for the weekend. On the roads this morning, biggest issue is over by Needmore. It does look like the left lane, right about as you make that bend in a road, is blocked. And because of that, traffic is backing up now towards Benchwood. So if this is part of your morning commute, again, I-75 South, you do have to be careful because A, the left lane is blocked, and B, we are seeing a pretty significant delay right at Needmore.
Taking a live look at Absolute's website, Absolute Vodka and Kahlua have made a new perfume that smells like an espresso martini. Interesting. The fragrance is called Blend Number 83, a nod to the year the drink was created. The scent is a mix of dark chocolate, sugarcane rum, and Arabica coffee and night musk scent. The companies say the fragrance floods the senses with silky richness. If that's up your alley, you can snag the perfume on their website. The perfume will cost you $105. Yes, officer, that's just my perfume.
You know who smells like Kahlua? The Big Lebowski.
Ah,
White
Russians.
Russians. Yeah, White Russians. You ever had a White Russian, Alex?
Don't think I have, actually.
Vodka, Kahlua, and half.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's pretty good, actually. Surprising.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a, I
don't need to be drinking vodka.
I was more of a Braid Bowl, which is tequila and Kahlua mix.
I was going to say, I was about to name off other drinks, but I'm like, I don't want to sound like an alcoholic this morning. So
I'll do it for you.
Our time right now is 6:15. You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. Still dealing with those showers as you gear up for your day. It's just one of those mornings where there's a little bit of light rain right now over by Troy, but that's about it. In fact, as expected, we are seeing it break up as it continues to march northeast. There is that heavier shower as it has moved across 75 for this morning. In the meantime, temperatures significantly cooler than yesterday. I almost said warmer, and that's because later on today we do expect it to warm up. But if you look, we're low mid 40s to the north, mid to upper 40s for the south. And for whatever it's worth, later on today we should be able to get well into the 70s. So it is going to be quite a warm day overall. These temperatures will eventually top out mid, maybe even a couple of upper 70s. That seems like it's going to be more Wilmington, Lebanon, further south around Cincinnati if we do see them. But still, that's 20 degrees above average. That is a significant difference from the norm. Meanwhile, overnight tonight, we'll fall somewhere into the upper 50s. If you want to count mid to late morning, it'll be mid 50s. Then for tomorrow, it'll warm at best into the upper 50s. So it's a case where basically the temperatures stall, fall, and then rise maybe just a handful of degrees. We are going to see these temperatures continue to stay in the 50s throughout the weekend with some really nice sunny conditions and no chances of rain. On the roads this morning, here's what we're looking at. A left lane blocked over by Needmore, I-75 south, so that's backed up towards Benchwood. Not quite seeing it back up all the way to the Benchwood exit, but again, that is slow going as you try to head into downtown.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, a global energy giant could potentially expand in Dayton. AES Corp recently filed a building permit on Woodman Drive. The $500,000 project could construct a one-story building for hydrogen production. There's not much else we know right now, but it would expand the corporation's innovation work in the Gem City. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com, click on the News tab, and select Dayton Business Journal.
Our time right now is 6:20. Digital producer Max waiting in the wings just ahead. We'll take a look at your Facebook poll question.
You're watching Your Day.
Time for Pet of the Day, where we celebrate your pets. And today it is a chicken joining us. This is Lizzo, sent in by Casey. Big thank you to Casey for sending in a pet that I don't think we focused a whole lot on. We've gotten other farm animals, but not exactly a chicken, or maybe one or two chickens back in the day. But either way, something new and different every couple of days, every couple of weeks. Meanwhile, for today, something a little bit different than you would expect this time of year. Temperatures in the 70s, average highs this time of year in the 50s. So for us to be 20 degrees above average, that is very much so on the hot side, and worth pointing out that we are some 5 degrees off of our record. So while not record breaking, it is going to be very, very toasty for this time of year. And keep that in mind, you might as well enjoy it, because guess what? Tomorrow, the cooler weather begins. As for the roads this morning, obviously the biggest issue, I-75 South near Needmore, but doesn't look like anything else at this hour. So good news there, and good news for anybody trying to maybe get to work. Other than that Needmore accident, it does look like traffic moving freely.
All right, digital producer Max standing by with our poll question this morning. Max, what do we got?
DIY. Nathan, I know you brag about being kind of a handy guy, but what is the biggest DIY project you'd actually be willing to take on yourself?
Well, I did a full bathroom and kitchen remodel on my own.
I've heard.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Picture, it didn't happen.
But I have pictures.
I believe
it did
it.
happen, and it was a pain in the butt. The stuff that I will not do is like outside of the house, like the roof. I got a new roof.
Ooh.
I did not do that. Did not want to deal with
Yeah.
that. I tried to install a new window, and it was a mess. So I hired people to do that too. But other than that, I'll try almost anything. Alex?
Okay, so for me, I feel like I'm handy, but I only can go so far. So, like, I enjoy building things. Like, a lot of the things in our house I've helped put together.
IKEA?
Yeah.
She's saying IKEA furniture.
I know how to follow instructions, but yeah, I stop at when it comes to like bigger projects like plumbing or electrical stuff. No, thank you.
Yeah, I've done the usual shower heads, garbage disposal, a couple of, under sink, moving the pipes around, light fixtures, things like that. But in terms of big projects, not really anything. Probably the biggest was I did a huge area of lawn, just threw down grass seed, like tilled it myself, made it work. Max, what do you got?
Personally, IKEA all the time. Almost my entire apartment was furnished by IKEA. Love IKEA. Plus, there was some yard game. My sister and I played a lot in high school. And it's just, I think it's called like Kip? Puck? It's some like Swedish game where you just throw like wooden rods at pins in the lawn. So it just went to Home Depot, got some wood planks, and carved them and shaped them into the shapes we needed.
Well,
Easy
let me
peasy.
tell you, my house is 70 years old. There's going to be new projects coming up. I can use all of your help, and you might even learn a new word or two along the way.
Hopefully.
To begin with, never mind.
It's a lot of 4-letter words.
All right.
Yeah, I heard them come out of my kid's mouth too.
Our time right now is 6:26. Still to come.
Both issue 1 and 2 have passed. We're going to break down the election results coming up next.
But first, here's Julie Moran with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
You know, I am always looking for new products to help keep me and my family safe, and I spend a lot of time in my car. I know you do too. So I am so excited to introduce you to the Minolta Dash Cam. Now, this gives you evidence if you're in an accident, and that is evidence at your fingertips. It records exactly what happened, and this is going to save you a lot of money on insurance claims. And it's extra peace of mind. It's really an investment for protecting your family, and I love that. Now, Minolta, as we know, is just such a trusted brand, and you can record inside and outside of your vehicle. Also, the camera, high resolution, 120-degree lens, clearer footage than any other dash cams on the market. And it automatically, I love this, automatically records collisions when you're parked. How great is that? And as I say, it includes the windshield mount, the memory card, also this power adapter, everything you need to get started right here, all in one piece. So right now we're offering 47% off the Minolta Dashcam, and I want you to head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer. This is just something, protection for you and your family that you are going to love.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Alex King.
And I'm Nathan Edwards. Here's 3 quick stories to get your day started. An unusual discovery up north. Police in Wisconsin found this alligator. Look at this little guy right
so
there.
Cute.
Yeah, in Lake Michigan.
Yeah, no thank
This
you.
is not Florida, Lake Michigan. It's still not clear how the animal ended up in South Milwaukee, but officials say the state gets 1 reported sighting per year. And you know what?
Crazy.
It's usually someone takes it as a pet and decides that they want to release it into the
little
water.
thing was definitely a pet, or there's a mama somewhere out there
Are you saying there's
with many babies?
There's some Lake Michigan gators?
There might be.
There might be.
There might be. We have an update on the Mexican aliens.
My favorite
Mexico's
story.
Congress held a second hearing on extraterrestrials. This time, a doctor showed lawmakers pictures and x-rays of what he calls a non-human being. The doctor claims the new species didn't have lungs or ribs.
I mean, if it's missing so much, it's non-human. Maybe it's just paper mache.
Do you think had a brain
I mean,
though, like other
looks like
organs? Just because it didn't have ribs or?
It looks like paper mache.
Oh, that's terrifying. It does kind of look like paper mache.
I know, that's what I'm
just
saying.
It's like
I got a new theory.
Molded. It's a skeleton now.
We don't know.
He's dead.
The mummified remains of an alien. Let's bring
Ew.
it back and see what happens. It's a good idea. Said no one ever. And you can now stay at the Lizzie Borden house. Speaking of bad ideas, this home is now the site of a bed and breakfast. In 1892, Lizzie Borden killed her father and mother with an axe in the house.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm going the other way.
If it's like a bed and breakfast with your breakfast instead of a knife, do you get like a little axe that you can cut your French toast with?
That would be awful.
What?
That's too far.
I mean,
that's
they named
taking it
it
too far. She killed her parents.
But they named it after her.
Okay.
They're playing off.
That doesn't mean they have to go that far.
Yeah.
Ohio voters have spoken. Issues 1 and 2 have passed in the Buckeye State, legalizing abortion and recreational marijuana.
So what happens next? Melina Brown breaks down the results and when we're going to see changes here in Ohio.
Issue 2 in recreational marijuana seeing its first victory in the Buckeye State after years of failed attempts. Across Ohio, you can see here it passed with nearly 57% of the vote. And in Montgomery County, it passed with over 60% of the vote. Along with Issue 1, Issue 2 will take effect in just a month. However, officials in the medical marijuana field say the full process of getting recreational marijuana on dispensary shelves could take up to a year. The law will allow adults 21 and older to buy, use, and even grow marijuana. We're still waiting on a statement from Governor Mike DeWine and other Ohioans opposed to the issue. Before the election, Governor DeWine opposed the issue, saying it would cause more harm and the tax revenue wouldn't be worth it. Cresco Labs, a lead grower in the medical cannabis program, said in a release they commend Ohioans on legalizing adult use cannabis and look forward to helping launch the program. Now, if you want to learn more about the specifics of Issue 1 and 2, you can head to our website, Dayton247now.com, for full election results.
Many local area schools had levies in this year's election, and now we know which ones did and did not pass.
Lydia Bice has been covering these levies for us and spoke with several local school district officials about what these levies could do for their schools.
That's right. On Tuesday night, I was at the Centerville School District's Board of Education as school district staff and officials held a watch party as they awaited results on issue 13. Now, those results were a little delayed here on Tuesday night, but officials held on and they said that no matter what, the children in this school district would remain their top priority. Now, if passed, that combined 5.4 mil operating and 0.5 mil permanent improvement levy would have helped Centerville schools make improvements to their school district buildings as well as recruit new teachers. Now, it was projected that 57% of residents voted against and 43% voted in favor, with 100% of precincts reporting. Now, we did receive a reaction statement from the district, and we have that in the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. But here's what their superintendent told me on Tuesday night.
We'll have to work hard with our Board of Education, looking at what we need to do in the future as to find a way to have enough funds for our programming, for our students, and how we move forward from a loss of a levy like this.
We also followed the Northmont City School District's $5.5 mil emergency operating levy. Now, the state of Ohio is who labeled it an emergency, and the funding that the district was asking for would have been used to just operate the district and would translate to about $16 a month per $100,000 home valuation. Now, 54% of residents in the Northmont City School District voted against, and 46% voted in favor. Lastly, we covered the Oakwood City School District's combined 5.75 mil operating and 1.0 permanent improvement levy. Oakwood superintendent told me that the operating levy would have been used for personnel costs, utilities, and instructional supplies, while funding from that permanent improvement levy would have been used for vehicles, larger repairs, and technology. Now, in Oakwood, 60% of voters voted in favor, with around 40% voting against. Now, of course, you can find all of your election results from Tuesday under the election results tab on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Thanks, Lydia. The Centerville, Washington Township community did not pass a 5.9 mil levy. The last time voters approved funding for the Centerville School District was 2019. Superintendent John Wesney says school expenses are outpacing revenue. Next steps will include a recommendation on when to return to the ballot and a discussion about potential cuts in the meantime.
Now we're following several other levies in the Miami Valley. An additional 4 mills levy for Vandalia Butler City Schools did not pass. 57% of people voted against it.
3 seats on the Tip City School Board up for grabs. You may remember former school board president Simon Patry resigned in September after board member Anna Zakor appeared to give him a Nazi salute. Patry, Zakor, and board member Teresa Dunaway will now be replaced by Angie McMurray, Cindy Wilson-Dillard, and Kyle Thompson.
A levy for Springfield Township Police also failing to secure enough votes. 59% of people voted against it. Meanwhile, Huber Heights voting overwhelmingly in favor to renew a 0.25 mil income tax levy. This allows the city to maintain emergency and city services. It's been in place since 2015 in the city.
For more election results, stay tuned. We're breaking down mayoral races, city commission, and more all morning long, as well as issues 1 and 2. You can find election results on our website, Dayton247now.com.
Good morning. The showers are now starting to exit out of Shelby County, actually moving in towards the greater Bell Fountain and Springfield Urbana corridors. So expect some rain as it continues through Clark and Champaign counties. Meantime, temperatures significantly cooler than this time 24 hours ago, but they'll be warmer during the daytime. So it's one of those classic cool during the morning, warmer during the daytime type scenarios. For today, cloudy skies early, give way to some breaks in the clouds as we get into latter stages of the morning hours. I'd expect temperatures to be up around their average high by 11 a.m. Just a reminder, we are on social media, so go there and hang out with us. It is always a good time there. Meanwhile, in the morning commute, it is quiet other than Needmore, and that is where the biggest problem is. The left lane was closed for a while and may actually still be closed due to an earlier incident. Traffic, of course, backed up all the way towards Benchwood, and probably at this stage just falling just short of there.
The Dayton Holiday Festival tree is heading to its new home in Courthouse Square today. So exciting. Crews are planning on removing the tree from its current location in Huber Heights at 9 this morning. They'll then take it to downtown Dayton. Once there, people will be decorating it with colorful lights and accents. The tree will be officially lit during the Dayton Holiday Festival Grand Illumination on November 24th.
I stopped down there yesterday and they had the big old tree stand already in place.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Oh my gosh. I love it.
We're getting so close.
Our time right now is 6:40. Don't forget you can get your election results at the bottom of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
You're watching your day.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
This time of year, some parts of Utah exist between two seasons, winter on this peak near Salt Lake City, and down below, the fall. In Portland, Maine, a time-lapsed cold front with a quick, fast thunderstorm that rolled through the area Tuesday afternoon. And nature's highlighter, the sun, bringing fall colors to the forefront on North Carolina's Grandfather Mountain.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where, as I've been mentioning all morning, it is quite chilly out here. Also, we're pointing out it's a little bit on the breezy side. It wasn't that bad the last time I came out here. It was pretty breezy when I woke up first thing this morning at 3, but the winds had picked up. And the interesting part is it's out of this direction, which is more of a summertime flow, but that just gives you an idea why we're going to warm up today. Speaking of warm, not quite there yet, but we have ticked up a few degrees across the north. That is, now we're in the low and mid 40s, more mid 40s than anything else, and that even includes Dayton. That is ticked up a degree. So this is a morning where it's got that chill in the air, not quite cold per se, but just chilly. I do expect temperatures to rally all the way into the mid 70s, so it's going to be very warm. Today, the last warm day, though. Cooler weather starts tomorrow.
Election day was yesterday, and here in Ohio went off without any notable problems.
That's thanks in part due to an outpouring of volunteers who worked as poll workers. Adamero explains.
A big election with a big turnout. Millions of Ohioans exercising their constitutional right to vote. And thanks in part to thousands of people around the state volunteering their time to be poll workers, this year's election went off without any major issues. Yes, there's a little compensation involved too, but it's the time served that made a big difference for this election and all others too. They answer questions, check registration, and so much more. For all the people who dedicated their time to help at the polls this week, thank you. You helped make the voting experience better and are, in my opinion, hometown heroes.
If you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone and scan the QR code.
You can chime in your submission through our app. We see a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
Our time right now is 6:46. You're watching Your Day.
Good morning. Here's the view right now over Dayton as the first rays of light have crept over the horizon. It is a gloomy start to your morning as the clouds continue to filter in the area. Should break up as we get into the afternoon and evening. And then from there, it is all about how warm we get, mid to upper 70s. I don't expect a lot of upper 70s, but a few could be possible further south. We're pointing out for those that are looking at records, 80 degrees, which was set back 3 years ago in 2020. So gives you an idea. We're not talking about necessarily the type of day where we'll shatter records, but it's pretty warm outside. Let's be honest. Tomorrow we start out somewhere in the upper 50s, fall into the mid 50s, bounce back in the upper 50s. Frankly, it's not going to be an impressively warm day, but still technically will likely fall above average when it comes to the average high. Worth pointing out that the average low is in the upper 30s and will go low 30s from Friday and beyond. Saturday into next week does look like we'll slowly begin to rise. So it's a case where these temperatures do dip below average technically, but we're not going to see anywhere near the huge swing to the downside that we are seeing to the upside today. So keep in mind, yeah, it's going to be cooler, but it's actually closer to average. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, the biggest issue was on I-75 South over by Needmore, Wagner Ford Road area. That has since been cleaned up. We do have one that has just popped up. That's Little Richmond Road at Ohio 49.
Our time right now is 6:52. You're watching Your Day. Ohio voters have spoken. Issues 1 and 2 have passed in the Buckeye State, securing reproductive rights, including abortion and legalizing recreational marijuana.
So what happens next? Melina Brown breaks down the results and when we'll see changes here in Ohio.
Let's talk about issue 1, which deals with abortion access. Here are the statewide numbers. You can see right here, issue 1 passed with nearly 50% of the vote, but here in Montgomery County, it was a little bit higher. It actually passed with about 59% of the vote. Now, Ohio voters sent a message, and now the law is slated to change next month. The constitutional amendment will take effect in 30 days. Issue 1 specifically declared an individual's right to make and carry out one's own reproductive decisions, including birth control, fertility treatments, miscarriage, and abortion. Pro-choice advocates say this is a historic win.
This has been such a long time coming. This campaign came together last year because we lost access, because there was a dangerous abortion ban in Ohio. Patients and families were being harmed and lives were put at risk. There was no choice. We had to win. We had to end the ban. Winning was our only option, and we did it together.
This morning, we still have not heard from Governor DeWine, who strongly opposed Issue 1. Dayton Right to Life says they believe this will be a tragic mistake for Ohio. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to break down Issue 2 and how legalizing marijuana will play out here in the Buckeye State.
Ohio is the latest state to enshrine abortion rights into the state constitution since the Supreme Court released its Dobbs decision, returning the issues to the states. Rachel Louise Just explains how this vote could impact future elections nationwide.
An off-year election isn't stopping what seems like a near constant stream of voters here at this polling place just in a suburb of Toledo, Ohio. And just like in Michigan, we're seeing a lot of people out here who have a lot to say about abortion in their state.
I'm going to be here till it gets dark.
Michelle Serlin and her husband Troy run a counseling agency in Michigan. But for the last few weeks, they've had their eyes on Ohio.
I'm out here for my clients. I'm out here for my daughter, most importantly. I want to have grandchildren safely.
From her head to her toes, she's asking Ohioans to vote yes on writing abortion into the state constitution.
My husband and I have canvassed over 600 houses in the last 3 weeks.
Like it is for so many people, the issue for Michelle and Troy is personal.
I worked at Planned Parenthood when it was firebombed.
If rights can be taken away by one group, it could be happening to another group, and so we have to be vigilant.
Ohio's version of its constitutional amendment is almost identical to Michigan's. The similarities don't end there. The anti-Prop 3 tagline in Michigan last year was too confusing, too extreme.
I think it's deceptive. It's too vague a law.
Just like in Michigan last year, confusion is being used in Ohio this year to swing voters one way or the other.
Our signs look almost identical.
Almost. Yeah, it was a trick.
Advocates on both sides say they don't know what will happen in Ohio this election day.
Do you feel pretty confident that you guys are going to end up being victorious today?
No, I'm not.
If this doesn't pass, there'll be a lot more people from Ohio coming in. It's right next door.
Planned Parenthood of Michigan says it's seen 2 to 3 times the number of out-of-state patients traveling there since Roe was overturned last year. And when Ohio has fluctuated in its abortion access, more Ohioans have traveled to Michigan. In Toledo, Rachel Louise Just.
2 Dayton City Commissioners will hold on to their seats for another 2 years. Matt Joseph and Chris Shaw ran for re-election against Marcus Bettinger and Valerie Duncan. Joseph is currently serving his 5th term as commissioner after first being elected in 2004. Shaw